Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Jake, this is Press to Play, and here's my early review of Fairy Tail. Okay, so let's just start out by saying that I am a huge Fairy Tail fan. It is my #1 favorite anime of all time. Nothing even comes close. It's got some of my favorite anime characters of all time. I love this series. I busted out a couple of the pieces I could find quickly here. We got Panther Lily, we got Frosh, Plu, Frosh. Urza's always here because she's the best. I got my Fairy Tail shirt on. I got my gray necklace on. I got this Fairy Tail bracelet. I've got my happy watch face. I just love this series. Seriously, I love Fairy Tail, and I have been waiting for a Fairy Tail game for many years now. So a while ago when Koei Tecmo, a company that I love, announced that they were going to be working on a Fairy Tail RPG, it blew my mind. So it's been a long time coming, and after a few delays, it is finally here. It is in our hands. I've had it for like a week now, and I'm roughly about the halfway point. I think I'm a little bit past the halfway point. So with all of that said, what do I think of the game so far? I want to start with the negatives. First of all, I gotta say that I chose to purchase this game on the Switch, and I kind of feel like the console can barely handle it at some points. There's lots of really weird, annoying frame rate drops while you're just running around and navigating the world. I can't really operate the photo mode at all. It just doesn't seem to function well enough on the Switch, and I feel like just the overall polish I would have loved to see is just not quite there on the Switch version. I can't speak to the PS4 and Steam version, but I'd imagine that they are in fact better. So if you're really wanting to get the full perfect experience from this game, I suggest going for the PS4 or Steam versions. I've also got to address in the negatives that this game was only made for Fairy Tail fans. If you haven't watched the first couple hundred episodes of the anime, you're not going to have a clue what is going on at all. They don't set up the world, they don't introduce the characters, who they are, where they come from, what their magic abilities are. Nothing. The game opens up in the middle of the final fight of a really big arc against a character that literally never shows up again. And then it just sends you on your way. They've also got some weird character moments which are really good if you've watched the anime or read the manga, and if you have done that character moment, that cutscene that happens is really impactful between these two characters, but it comes completely out of the blue in this game. There's no pretense whatsoever. All of a sudden these two characters are just having this really emotional conversation, and if I wasn't as big of a Fairy Tail fan as I am, if I haven't seen that scene a million times, I would have been like, who the fuck are these people? And why do I care? I've also got to address that it does fall into a little bit of an RPG trope of being kind of grindy. Go from point A to point B to have a fight, and then you go from point B to point C to have a fight, and so on and so forth. Now, let's switch gears and talk about the positives. This game is a ton of fun. I am loving it. I am obsessed with it. It's pretty much the only thing I want to do with my free time right now. As a Fairy Tail fan, I've got to say that this game is really good at making you feel like you're a part of this world. Running around the guild, Magnolia, Tenro Island, Crocus. There's a bunch of little areas that you know from the anime or manga that you get to run around and explore in. And it's a ton of fun to do so, whether you're working on a quest you got from the quest board, or helping somebody out on the street, or just running around trying to find little hidden items. There's unlockable paths in all of these places that keep you coming back to them. Just navigating the world is a ton of fun. But just like the anime and the manga, this game really shines in its characters. Each of the characters' distinct personalities come through in a big way, and all of their magic abilities are so unique and fun to play with. Even characters with similar styles of magic feel different while you're playing them, and that is really cool. Like, I really like Wendy as a character, but I had no way going into this game that I expect that I was going to be keeping her on my party at all times. But after giving her a shot, I found out that her magic has a lot of really cool abilities and things it can do, and it was just super good and fun to play with. Urza, of course, my #1 favorite anime character of all time, has been in my party since the moment I unlocked her. She's badass, she's a heavy hitter, she's all attack, high defense, she is a beast. But every time I get a new character, I just get kind of giddy, and I put them in my party just to see how they play. And I think even though that is just fight to fight, I think the overall structure of the game is really well done, because it sort of forces you to say, okay, we're going to take some quests from their quest board, and then when we get to a certain point, we're going to go do the story. and then after that we're going to go back to the quest board and you have a little bit more freedom, and then we're going to go back to the story. So the way it kind of works you through like that, I think is really well done. Now my biggest concern going into this game was the fact that I just don't typically like traditional RPGs. I just find them to be kind of long, grindy, and oftentimes the combat system to be very, very complicated. But the combat is great. Let's talk about it. Basically, you can have up to 5 of your characters in your party to go into battles with. And every time you start a battle, all of your enemies get laid out on a 3x3 grid. So when you go to select a move, you'll see what the pattern of the attack is, and you can fit that pattern into the grid to figure out what enemies you're going to be hitting with it. Also with the moves, you just see a simple power level, whether it's 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, and that's all you need to know about your attack strength. And there are some moves that alter your stats up or down, or the enemy stats up and down, but it's all laid out right in front of you, so you know exactly what choices you're making every single time you select a move. As you fight, you also build up a team magic meter, and these are a ton of fun. When you hit the button, you do a massive magic chain attack with all of the members in your party. They're super satisfying because this is the part of the game where you feel like you're really watching those amazing fairy tale battles. Everyone's working together, attack after attack, playing off of each other. And this is where non-playable characters like Kana and Makarov can come in and do massive damage as well. They found a way to add depth to the combat system while still making it really easy to understand. There's also a simple character progression system that allows you to customize your favorite characters in the way that you kind of want them to play. And I thought that system was great because it allows your favorite characters to become really strong like you want them to be, but unlike some other RPGs that I've played, the characters who aren't always in the fights and always in the party don't get left super far behind either. And visually, beyond the poor frame rate when you're running around the world and whatnot, the combat, and even more so the cutscenes, look really good. And they're just fun to watch and play through. And of course, I'd be remiss to not mention this. The whole game has that incredible fairy tale music. Whether it's the main theme or these combat themes that get you really hyped up, or the really emotional moments, fairy tale music has always been super iconic, distinct, and beautiful. It plays through the entire game, and I can't help but find myself just stopping every once in a while just to admire it. At the end of it all, if, and only if, you're a fairy tale fan, I genuinely think you will enjoy this game. Just being able to play through and walk around these worlds, see all of your characters interact, build them up and customize them, make them super strong would have been enough. But it has just enough depth to keep you hooked in, having fun, and constantly coming back to it. If you're not already familiar with Fairy Tail, I think you can give this one a pass. It does very little to explain what's going on at any given moment if you aren't already steeped in the knowledge and understanding of the situations and the characters in them. And because of that, I just don't think you're going to get the same amount of enjoyment out of this game as somebody who is a big Fairy Tail fan. And that is my early review of Fairy Tail. So the game has been out for about a week now. Have you had a chance to play it? What are your thoughts about it? Are you as big of a Fairy Tail fan as I am? Let me know all of that in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to be the first to know when I upload a new video. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Press to Play OK. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.